It's June, the month when hundreds of geese come to the Serpentine to moult their wing feathers and grow new ones, and also to nest if they can, and it's the Queen's 90th birthday. The Red Arrows, the RAF display team, fly past. Bells are ringing all over the city. This pair's eggs are just hatching. Here's a pair with 4 cygnets. The swans that haven't found a nest site hang out on the bank of the long water. The black swan, still too young to breed, is now part of the gang. The bird singing here is a Chetty's warbler, a species that arrived in Britain about 40 years ago from the European mainland. The Serpentine Island has 2 pairs of nesting grey herons. One of the parents is on a post, patiently waiting for a fish to come by. The young heron in the nest is not so patient and wants to be fed. This is the other nest with 2 young birds. Here's the first great crested grebe chick of the year, just one so far. The parent is looking for small fish to feed it, and has found one. If the catch is too large, the parent eats it at once. The Canada and grey lag geese, unable to fly while they are molting, rest on the shore. A pair of grey lags have 4 goslings. Here's a mother of 9, all trying to crowd under one of her wings. The chief danger for young waterfowl is gulls. This is the notorious pigeon-eating lesser black-backed gull, devouring a victim. Egyptian geese breed all the year round. Here's one of my favourites, Blondie, with her first ever brood of 3 young. These young Egyptians on the round pond are a couple of months old. They're shedding their juvenile fluff and growing adult feathers. These ones are older and just growing their flight feathers. It's a dangerous time. People feed them bread, which has too much protein in it, and their bones can grow too fast and not be strong enough to support the big new feathers. The wing droops and becomes useless. This deformity is called angel wing. This pair have collected an odd family, one large gosling, one smaller one, and 3 little ones that seem to be greylags rather than Canadas. No one knows how this happened. The ponds in the Italian gardens have clumps of water plants, good nest sites for moorhens and coots. A pair of moorhens have 7 chicks, which run around on the water lilies. The marble fountain at the bottom of the garden, with a view over the long water. Another view from the Peter Pan statue. Look at the post in the middle of the picture. A pair of coots are rashly nesting on it. Any chick that emerges will promptly be eaten by a gull waiting on top of the post. These coot chicks at the north end of the long water have better cover under the bushes, though gulls still swoop on unwary stragglers. This female Mandarin had the first brood of ducklings for many years here, from which any have survived. Just one duckling got through. Here they are. When the mother preens, the duckling does too. It's a tough little bird, quite able to see off adult moorhens and get back to eating tasty young leaves. A second brood of mandarins. We still don't know if any of them will make it. There are only a couple of pairs of common pochard permanently on the Serpentine. To everyone's surprise, this year one of them produced a duckling. That's a chaffinch singing, by looking across the round pond to Kensington Palace. The sunken garden is a small private area next to the palace. Look at the middle of this view. A moorhen is nesting on one of the big lead boxes that act as planters and fountains. Moorhen chicks start as tiny balls of black fluff. Back into Kensington Gardens, full of the shrieks of the throngs of rose-ringed parakeets. On the left is the leaf yard, where the dead leaves from the park's thousands of trees are dumped to rot into leaf mould. The shrubs along the edge are a home for families of great tits. Here are some nestlings begging for food. This one has already learnt to look into buds and shoots to find insects. The park's old gas lamp posts have just enough space inside their cast-iron columns for blue tits to nest. Here a parent brings a small caterpillar for the nestlings. Once the young birds are out, they constantly pester their parents for food. Young magpies are just as demanding. This parent has taken time off to have a bath in the lake. The young bird on the right is basking in the sunshine, giving its parents a few minutes of peace. The young starlings are already independent and going around the outside tables of the restaurants trying to pick up scraps. Young pied wagtails also grow up quickly and fly over patches of algae looking for insects or run after them on the shore. This is the chestnut tree near the leaf yard where a pair of little owls nested. The male is in the tree, idly scratching and looking around. The two little owlets are preening each other. They're interested in what's going on around them. Everything is new. Visiting photographers are carefully inspected. A final view of the flowers in the dell and its waterfall, where the water from the lake flows out and runs underground for 2 miles to merge with the Thames.